Months had passed since you had left Jungkook and life had taken a turn for the better. You had healed, moved on, and even found love again with Jimin, a kind-hearted and devoted man who treated you like a queen. Your days were filled with love or joy and the warmth of your new family, especially since you and Jimin had recently welcomed a beautiful baby girl into your lives. But while you flourished into your new life, Jungkook's world began to crumble. He had tried to move on after you left, throwing himself into work and the social scene. He had reconnected with Sujin, thinking her presence might fill the void you had left. Sujin, always the charmer, had been more than happy to rekindle their friendship, which quickly turned into something more. Zungu sat in his office staring at his phone, the screen filled with pictures of you and Jimin, smiling and holding your baby. He felt a pang of regret every time he saw how happy you were without him. His life, once filled with confidence and control, now felt hollow and meaningless. Jungkook, come on, Sojin's voice broke through his thoughts. She stood in the doorway, dressed impeccably, her smile as radiant as ever. We are going to be late for the charity gala. Yay, coming, he muttered, forcing a smile. He could not deny that Sojin's presence was a welcome distraction, but deep down, he knew it was not the same. At the gala, Sujin was the center of attention, mingling effortlessly with the elite crowd. Jungkook stayed close to her, feeling a strange sense of detachment. As the night wore on, he noticed Sojin's interactions with a few wealthy attendants. Her charm dialed up to maximum. He brushed it off, attributing it to her natural charisma. Weeks turned into months, and Sojin's influence on Jungkook's life grew. She convinced him to invest heavily in a new venture, promising incredible returns. Jungkook, eager to find a new purpose, agreed without much hesitation. One evening, as they sat in his lavish apartment, Sojin brought up the idea of combining their assets. Jungkook, we have been together for a while now, she said, her voice sweet and persuasive. I think it's time we took our relationship to the next level. Why don't we merge our fiances? It will be easier for us to manage everything together. Jungkook caught up in the illusion of their relationship, agreed. He transferred significant assets to joint accounts, trusting Sojin completely. It was not long before Sojin's true color began to show. Jungkook started noticing discrepancies in their accounts, large sums of money disappearing without explanation. When he confronted Sojin, she brushed it off with plausible excuses. But then one day Jungkook returned home to find the apartment empty. Sojin was gone, along with everything of value, including his money. Panic set in as he realized he had been betrayed. He tried to contact her, but her phone was disconnected. Dispatcher, he reached out to mutual friends, only to discover that Sojin had been seen boarding a plane heading to an unknown destination. Jungkook was left in ruins both financially and emotionally. He had lost everything to a woman he thought he could trust. The weight of his mistakes bore down on him, and he could not help but reflect on how he had treated you. The regret was overwhelming. This turns into week and Jungkook struggled to pick up the pieces of his shattered life. He faced legal battles trying to reclaim what he could. But the damage was done. He was left with nothing but the painful memories of his choices. Jungkook's struggle was not immune to the consequences of her actions. She found herself in a precarious situation in a foreign country, betrayed by those she thought were her allies. Her lavish lifestyle quickly turned into a nightmare as she was stranded with no one to turn to. In stark contrast, your life was a picture of happiness. You and Jimin had created a beautiful home together, filled with love, and love for your baby girl was the center of your world. Her innocent smile, a constant reminder of the joy and hope you had found. One sunny afternoon, you and Jimin took your daughter to the park. As you watched her play, Jimin wrapped his arm around you. He stood gentle and reassuring. I'm so grateful for you, he whispered, kissing your forehead. You and our little princess mean everything to me. You smiled, leaning into his embrace. I feel the same way, Jimin. You have given me the love and happiness I always dreamed of. Your days were filled with moments like these, each one a testament to the life you had built together. You had found someone who treated you with the respect and love you deserve, someone who cherished you and your daughter above all else. One evening, as you sat together on the couch, Simin brought up the idea of a small celebration for your upcoming anniversary. How about we have a little party? He suggested, his eyes sparkling with excitement. Just close friends and family to celebrate how far we have come. I would love that, you replied, feeling a warmth in your heart. It's a wonderful idea. As the date approached, you and Jimin planned the celebration with enthusiasm. The day of the party, your home was filled with the laughter and chatter of friends and family, everyone celebrating your love and the happiness you have found. Jungkook, now a shadow of his former self, heard about the celebration through mutual friends. He was not invited, but he decided to drive by your house, wanting to see the life he had lost. He parked a distance away, watching from the shadows as the party unfolded. He saw you radiant and happy, surrounded by people who cared about you. He saw Jimin holding your daughter, his love for both of you evident in every gesture. A pang of regret hit him hard. He knew he had brought this on himself, that his action had led to this moment of isolation and despair. He had hurt you, and now he was paying the price. As he watched you laugh and dance with Jimin, he realized how much he had taken you for granted. You deserved so much better than what he had given you, and now you had found it with someone who truly cherished you. Jungkook drove away that night, the image of your happiness etched in his mind. He knew he had a long road ahead to rebuild his life, but the lesson was clear. He had to face the consequences of his actions and work on becoming a better person. Months turned into years, and while Jungkook struggled to find his footing, you continued to thrive. Your relationship with Jimin grew stronger, your family filled with love and joy. Your daughter grew up surrounded by the warmth of a loving home, her laughter a constant reminder of the happiness you have found. One evening, as you and Jimin sat on the porch watching the sunset, you felt a sense of contentment wash over you. I'm so grateful for everything we have, you said, leaning your head on his shoulder. Me too, Jimmy replied, his voice filled with love. You have made my life complete fine, and your little princess. And our little princess, she is our greatest blessing. You smiled, feeling the truth of his words deep in your heart. You had come a long way from the pain and heartbreak of your past to the joy and fulfillment of your present. You had chosen yourself, and in doing so, you had found the happiness you deserved. And so, as the sun set on another beautiful day, you looked forward to the future with hope and love. You knew that no matter what challenges lay ahead, you would face them together with the strength of your love, guiding the way. Jungkook, somewhere far away, continued his journey of redemption, learning from his mistakes and striving to become a better person. He would always carry the regret of losing you, but he hoped that one day he too would find peace and happiness. For now, you were content to live in the present, cherished every moment with Jimin and your daughter, knowing that you had made the right choice. Your past was behind you, and the future was bright, filled with the promise of love and joy. As you held Jimin's hand, watching the last rays of the sun disappear below the horizon, you knew that you were exactly where you were meant to be, and that was the greatest victory of all. The end.